Hey guys, my name is Anna and this is my channel Kaiju Bites. I do food reviews and also kaiju movie reviews, and today I'm doing a review on Godzilla Raids Again. If you're new to my channel, I've actually decided to go through all the Godzilla films and rewatch them all and then do a critique on them, and you're free to disagree with me. I love hearing people's thoughts on the Godzilla films. I really love, I don't know, I like the Godzilla fandom. I really like, it's a really passionate group of people. And so I have to say right off the bat, Godzilla Raids Again is not one of my favorites. There's like nothing really, I mean, there's like some movies you watch and they do like all these horrible mistakes, too much cliche, too much this, too much that. Godzilla Raids Again is just boring. Like they have, like, the acting is not bad, and I think they were trying to capitalize on the popularity of Godzilla 1954, the original, and so this came out, I think, like a year after it, and it just doesn't have anything really going for it, like in the first, okay, so basically after 1954, they kill that Godzilla. In 1955, well, apparently there's another Godzilla, different one. I guess, the nuclear blasts woke another Godzilla up. Also, I always struggle with his name. Anguus? I'm gonna just call him Ang. I always have a problem with saying his name. But basically, he's like an ankylosaurus, and, he's another dinosaur that was awoken by the nuclear blast, and Godzilla and him have beef. And so this is like the first introduction of a different kaiju in the Godzilla films. And so the story just kind of goes with, it's like following this tuna, like these tuna vessels, tuna pilots. Like they scout the oceans for schools of tuna, and like then the fishermen go out and, fish the tuna. And so it's kind of odd because it's like the pilots do a lot of like the scouting of Godzilla and even like help take military offensive in like the final act. But I mean, like, it is like they're trying to have human element, but it's just all really boring. Like, even with the first one, there's like the human element, you kind of like, you saw the people's kind of like motives and stuff like that, but this one is just, they're just kind of there. And like, Dr. Yamane, who was in the first Godzilla, is in this one, and when they tell him that there's another Godzilla, he's just like, oh, well, we're all gonna die. He's like, he goes from like trying to save Godzilla in the original film to like just being like, yep, we're goners, like there's no oxygen destroyer, what are we gonna do? And so, and then he's like, and then there's another kaiju, like we're just screwed. Like he just is like completely just like beaten already. And because they're like, well, how'd you destroy it the first time? And he's like, well, oxygen destroyer, we don't have that. We don't have the scientist, Dr. Serizawa, who invented it, so we're fucked. I mean, in essence, that's what he said. And so it was just kind of like, oh, okay, interesting. And yeah, and like, to recap, they pretty much like played Godzilla destroying Tokyo from the first movie, but it's not like just like any stylized like clips or anything. It's verbatim like him destroying Tokyo for like at least a minute, and you're just kind of like, well, okay, they couldn't have like figured out a better way of like recapping Godzilla 1. Anyways, it was kind of like a waste of a minute or two of screen time, and it's just boring. Now I have to say, I did enjoy the kaiju battle scenes, like the suit actors fighting, Ankylosaurus and Godzilla, and those scenes were fun. Like, that's like the only fun in this movie is the monster scenes of them fighting each other. That's about it. Like, everything else is just really dull. Like I can't even like I just the only character I really like remember is Kobayashi. And that's really it. Like none of the characters really resonated, you know, or really made me care about them. So yeah, it's dull. I really don't ever really watch Godzilla Raids Again very often. It's not like one of the movies I'm like, oh, let's watch Godzilla Raids Again. No. I for the kaiju design, I don't really like the Godzilla in Godzilla Raids Again. Like they try to make his teeth sharper, but it almost looks like he's like a little bucktooth. Like his teeth are just kind of, I don't know, I just don't like the design either. Like I think I watched a video where they also said like his eyes are just a little bit wider, he's a little bit skinnier and taller, I think they said. And I don't know, I just don't like the design. He just looks like a bucktooth, like a sharp bucktooth Godzilla. Ankylosaur, I actually like his design. I like his noise. I don't know why I like that chirping noise he makes. He's like, I'm not gonna mimic it. But I don't know, I really like that noise. And, you know, and I like how, like, I just like his, like, little crown. It looks like, kind of like a crown that he has. And he's, like, one of my favorites, even though I can never pronounce his name, and I'm sorry for anybody that's, like, cringing whenever I say it. I don't know, I like the design. I like the fight scenes between the kaijus. And that's really the only redeeming factor of this movie. You know, they end up burying him in a bunch of like ice, and they cause an avalanche in the mountain that on the island that Godzilla is like floating around, and they bury him in ice, and that's, you know, and he becomes a White Walker, and he's in Game of Thrones season 8, you know. I'm kidding about that, of course. But yeah, so it's just it's dull. It's a pretty dull movie. I don't even know. I usually rank them. I'll give it a 1.5 kaiju bites out of 5. I mean, it only gets 1.5 because of the kaiju fight scenes, and plus I like Anguirus, or whatever. Angie. I'm gonna just call him Angie. That's my nickname for him. So yeah. So anyways, tell me what you think about Godzilla Raids Again if you've ever seen it. I think it's called Gigantus in the English version. I didn't watch the English version. Maybe I'll watch it. I heard it's edited just a little bit differently. And I'm not even sure, like, I've never actually watched, like, there is an English version on my DVD, but I'm not sure if it's just dubbed, if that's what they meant by English version, or if it's actually the English version that got released in the US back in the 50s. I'm not entirely sure. I guess I can struggle with it again if I really wanted to. But anyways, I'm done talking. I hope you guys have a good quarantine stay. Enjoy me for future videos, and I might take a break and do another monster movie. I might just alternate between monster movie and Godzilla. I got a lot of time in quarantine. You know, might as well do as many as I can while I got the time. So anyways, hope you guys enjoy. Hope you guys will subscribe and join me for future videos. Take care. Bye.